Paul Walker's daughter, Meadow Walker, is showing her husband, Louis Thornton-Allan, lots of love on his big day. The Fast 10 actress's spouse of nearly 2 years celebrated his birthday on August 19th, and she commemorated the special occasion with a touching Instagram tribute. She wrote, "Happy birthday, my love, my angel, my best friend. I love you." Meadow also shared a peek at how she and Louis spent his birthday, which included lots of swimming and adventuring. She captioned her post, "Beautiful day celebrating beautiful you." Meadow announced her plans to marry Louis back in 2021, with a video of her showing off her engagement ring in the pool. Months later, they tied the knot in a romantic ceremony in the Dominican Republic. Many of Meadow's late father Paul Walker's Fast and Furious co-stars were in attendance, including Vin Diesel, who walked the bride down the aisle. Meadow has always been a beloved member of Paul's Fast family, and she got to honor her dad and appear on screen for the first time in Fast 10, making a memorable cameo as a flight attendant. Access Hollywood spoke to the model at the movie's premiere in Rome, and she told us how her cameo came to be, and spilled some wedding details too.
You were so good in the film. It was brief, but it was epic. Tell me what it meant to you.
To me, I mean, it was amazing to be able to honor my dad in that way, and to be on the other side of the camera was honestly very interesting to experience. I've never actually went into it with zero training or anything. So it was, and honestly, thanks to Louis, he was the most patient with, and John, who I'm in the scene with. It was really fun, but it was a cool way to connect with my dad, and I'm really excited about that.
Did Vin call you with the idea? How did it come about?
No, actually, I've been thinking about, I was kind of thinking about wanting to do a cameo in 9 or 10, and actually my dad's best friend, Brandon Bertel, who used to be a producer on the older films when my dad was working, he and I kind of got together and had a little powwow and decided we wanted to be very simple and very discreet and simple, yeah.
What do you think your dad would say?
I honestly have no idea. I think that he would obviously be very proud, but at the same time think it's funny because I know he never wanted me to go into the entertainment business. So I mean, I express I now have a model, so that's kind of in the same region of that. So I think he would be happy, but I still think he would be laughing at me.
Oh my God! Well, I have to tell you, I think it's so gorgeous and beautiful how you continue to honor your dad, and for the fans, it means so much. Yeah. What does the fan base mean to you?
So it's cool. I mean, it's still kind of new to me to understand it, when everything, a lot of the time it was just my father's fans, and that was amazing, but seeing now, young girls and stuff, especially, messaging me and, looking up to me, it's quite insane, and I always want to, it's really, really special, and I think, I always want to be a good role model for everyone and be myself and be authentic, because I think in this industry there's a lot of people who are scared to be authentic.
Yeah, absolutely. And finally, Vin walked you down the aisle.
Yes.
Which was so beautiful.
Yeah, that was amazing.
Yeah, what did that mean to you?
It was honestly quite crazy because I had, the wedding was not planned, and I was in Paris for Fashion Week, and I called Paloma, Vin's wife, and I was like, okay, I'm trying to plan a wedding. She's like, you're doing the shows, and she's like, oh my God, this is insane. And she's basically almost hung up on me. And then all of a sudden, I was like, I'm planning the wedding, and then I didn't know anything about the wedding. I literally flew from Paris to New York with my dress. It was custom made. I'm carrying on the airplane, and then landed in New York, and the next day go to the Dominican Republic. And then I'm lying in a car, because I can't wrinkle my dress. And then I got out, and the whole thing was a surprise. It was the most beautiful wedding in the entire world, but I, didn't, she was an angel, and it was so beautiful and so special.
Access also spoke to Vin about Meadow's cameo, and what Paul would think.
Meadow is here tonight. She was amazing in the film. What do you think Paul would say about her being in this film?
I just think he's proud.
You're going to make me cry looking in your eyes.
You're going to make me cry, and I'm going to be bad at interviews.
Oh, I love that. Oh, thank you for honoring him and continue to honoring him. It's beautiful, and it means a lot to the fans. It really means a lot to all of us, so it's a beautiful thing.
Loss is something that so many of us have gone through. I can relate. I can relate to. And I'm just a reflection of that humanity that we all have.
Before Fast 10 hit theaters, Jordana Brewster and John Cena talked to Access Hollywood about Meadow's on-screen appearance and how the Fast franchise continues to keep Paul's memory alive.
It's been almost 10 years since Paul passed away, and I couldn't help but think about him a lot during this film. How is it for you guys to be able to continue to carry his legacy in these amazing movies?
Well, Meadow posted something today where it was really beautiful the way she talked about being integrated into the family and into the universe through the cameo that she has. And I love that Brian's still alive, and I love that, we can still honor him in some way through the film in whichever way that is. And I love the way that Louis integrated him with footage from Fast in a way that made sense, in a way that was super respectful. So I'm glad you were thinking about him, basically, is what I'm trying to say.
Yeah, I talked to a couple people who are big fans. I was like, what do you guys want me to ask the cast? And they were all like, I just think of Paul a lot when I think of the franchise. And I thought that's really beautiful that you all have continued to so well. It's been done so well and so beautifully. But yeah, so Meadow was amazing. She was so good, and it was like shocking. Was she on set for a long time?
She was on set in your scene, which was one of my favorite scenes because it was done so well. And Meadow was nervous. She has big shoes to fill, obviously, but she was so graceful.
She did great.
Yeah, she was awesome.
She did great. That was an honor to be a part of that. She
Yeah.
did great.
She really did.
Michelle Rodriguez also spoke to Access about the continued love for Paul from fans around the world, which the cast saw so clearly during their time in Rome.
I was having a little, a huddle with my boy Vin, and right outside of his hotel, it was like 2 a.m. when I left the huddle, and I'm on my way back to the hotel, and I see this car outside that was still there from like 10 o'clock at night when we showed up. And I was like, dude, this guy's like full on dedicated. Why does he have a replica of Paul's car from like Fast 1? And I was like, this is a beautiful piece of work. And so I got out of the car and I got to talk to him. I think Carlo was his name. And it's just so beautiful. He's got, all of these details for Paul in the car.
Oh, you saw it?
Yeah.
Wow.
And NOS tank, everything's taken care of with so much love and so much delicate care. And it just leads me to remember, all the times that we've gone, to different parts of the world. One time, I was in northern Italy, and I was going to chopper from northern Italy to this clinic that I go to clean out my system after partying too much. And I'm sitting there, at the vineyard, waiting for the chopper to come in. It sounds really bougie, but it was very small town. This is like a vineyard town in the middle of nowhere. I Airbnb'd like a little place in this small, tiny town in northern Italy. And the kids of the woman who has this vineyard, they literally said, Michelle, we want to show you something. And 3 boys, teenage years. They opened the garage door, and there were lined up these beautiful cars, tuned out to the extreme. And I'm like, I'm at a vineyard in northern Italy, very, very close to Switzerland. Like, what the hell is a car scene doing here? What's going on? And it just reminded me, this is us in Manila, where everybody, crowds of people surrounding a mall. It's a community. It's global. It's all around the world. And it's just coming out of that hotel and seeing that young boy, there with his car and just with the love for Paul, the etchings and the light. I'm just like, yes, that's what it's about. You know what I mean? Yeah. I hope car companies get in on that as well, because, it's don't forget, as you start making everything about chips and electricity and motors and stuff like that, you want people to have that ability to work on a car. You want them to be able to modify stuff. You want them to have that community that they used to have with their dad in the garage or their mother in the garage or their sister, That community is what it's all about.
Yeah.
And it's a culture.
Yes, it is. And and having Meadow is amazing in the film. Beautiful way to honor him.